Hey, it's Anita with Discover Sonoma County Living, and we're going to visit beautiful Petaluma, my hometown. This is going to be a 3 to 4 part series. I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to take out of the can and post on YouTube, but we're going to cover this beautiful city and talk about what life is like living here. It's really lovely, the culture, the people, the businesses, and really what's going on here. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's take off now and check out the first in 3 to 4 parts of the city of Petaluma coming up. Petaluma really started in the 1850s, and when the incubator was invented here, the egg and poultry industry really exploded. Now, eggs were 30 cents a dozen. By 1917, they were 50 cents a dozen. And when that happened, there was more cash flowing into Petaluma per capita and being deposited in the banks in Petaluma than anywhere in the world. It was a big deal. There was lots of industry here, all centered around the egg industry. And the eggs were easily transported to San Francisco and Oakland and the Bay Area because of the Petaluma River. So there was easy transportation, and the incubator made it all happen. By the 1950s, Petaluma became quite a bedroom community, known as a sleepy agricultural community, but a lot of houses were being built here. So if you lived in San Francisco, or if you worked in San Francisco, you really loved living in Petaluma. And of course, in the 80s and 90s and the last 15 or 20 years, it's really, really grown from just the west side or the older part of Petaluma to the big east side. There's 2 high schools, one on the east side, one on the west side. I went to the west side, Petaluma High, and my father opened Casa Grande High School, the second high school in Petaluma, on the east side. So I watched Petaluma grow my whole childhood and actually my whole life. So it's gone from a sleepy little town, I wouldn't call it sleepy, but an agricultural center, to a mixture of technology and the eclectic environment that we have today. Petaluma is about 40 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and now with the quarantine, the commute there and back is probably pretty nice. But Petaluma's always been kind of the bedroom community that was the first city that you got to when you hit Sonoma County. And the sequence is the Golden Gate Bridge, then there's Marin County, and then Sonoma County as you're traveling north. So Petaluma's kind of I always grew up with people calling it the bedroom community because you kind of slept there, but you went to work in the city or maybe Marin County. So its orientation is about a half hour, 40 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge. So talking about the culture and the people of Petaluma, I love to do that because it is my hometown, and I grew up with, the city dwellers like me that lived in suburbia, and then everybody else was a rancher or a farmer. There really wasn't much in between. But now we have a lot of technology. Some big corporations are here. There's a lot of local businesses and local companies here. There's a lot of farm to table companies, food companies and food industries, many, many artists, and of course artisanal foods is a big, big deal in Petaluma. So you get quite the eclectic background of occupations in Petaluma, I have to say, especially since the late 90s when there were Cisco campuses here, some HP. I believe they've moved on to other buildings, but it really made the technology business grow in Petaluma. So we're kind of agriculture tech. There's some pharmaceutical going on, and so the culture here is growing from agriculture into other things, or it has grown for 20 years now. So let's talk about walkability and your ability to ride bikes and do walks and get around and hike in Petaluma. So it's abundant. There's no bike path through Petaluma, but there's lots of great biking neighborhoods and places to go. If you did want a straightaway bike path, you can head down to Marin County, put your bike in your car, and it's an easy drive. And but there's two regional parks in Petaluma. One is Schellenberger and the other is Helen Putnam. So if you like hiking on the flatlands around the marshes and the Petaluma River, that's Schellenberger Park. And Helen Putnam Park is a steeper, more windy and steep trails going up on the more southern and southwestern part of Petaluma. I would give Petaluma a 3 thumbs up on walkability. I think you can walk every neighborhood from one end to the other on both sides of town. Get a good long walk in safe, nice, great neighborhoods throughout the city of Petaluma. So come to Petaluma and do a little walk. It's really great. There's lots of great neighborhoods to walk in and some great parks. So let's go for a walk. I hope you enjoyed part 1. Part 2 is going to come up in the upper right-hand corner. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and give me a thumbs up because you want to get all the future videos in the series. So hit that subscribe button, and if you're relocating here and you're maybe buying a house or even selling a house, I've made up beautiful free buyer's guides, seller's guides, relocation guides, and they're in the links below in the comments section. So go down there, it pops up, it's free, you'll get an ebook, and maybe that'll give you a little bit more information on moving into Petaluma and Sonoma County. So that's the wrap on part 1. I'll see you on part 2.